done it the Italian way, by paying under the table a doctor and simulating a clinical accident, or by going to Switzerland, which is very close to Italy, as you know, where all these things are legal. But again, the point was that to make it very evident and stand the possibility of trial for the wife and the doctor, and make a case for the right of terminating life. Actually, that's one of the few cases in which the Catholic Church has not agreed to a funeral in the church. Now the church has buried Pinochet and dictators with fanfare, but his wife was Catholic, so she wanted a Catholic funeral, and she was denied that. As a consequence of that, however, a law was approved in Italy that gives some leeway in this type of programs. And finally, that's a nice episode. The leader of the party went on television. That's you see the silly girl. I'm going to be sued for that. No, it's a classic Italian presenter, 9 o'clock in the morning. And what you see here, what do you see? See who's smart here. What is that? That's a nice packet of 200 grams of hashish. They were given to her in public, so said, this is my present for you, I'm giving you my arrest, because I want to go to jail for civil disobedience, to make a point about not legalization of drugs, but decriminalization of soft drug usage, which we've seen also here in this country. Cappato, by the way, was arrested for something similar in Salford in the UK some years ago. But that was the idea of getting at 9 o'clock in the morning and making a big scandal. Then all the news bulletins spoke for days about that. Okay, what do I have to say about representation? Just moving from media to representation. This is the only element that is a bit boring. People typically look at how a party is organized to exercise its representational functions in terms of how many people get elected to the local council, to the parliament, so the party in the institutions. Then a good party, according to the theory, develops a center that can control, so it's a party in central office, and then you develop a network of local offices. So you have the party in the territory. That's, I think, the tabloid model of how a party should work. That's our guys thought that for us. I'm not talking about the cartel party, but we call it single people. Okay. What the party has done is something very different, which is the scientific disorganization of the party and non-exclusive membership. Scientific disorganization means that the party, this is a bit obnoxious, sorry. Okay, let's go, otherwise it's confusing. I think the idea was to take the libertarian principles of the party into the organization of the party, into the structure. So the organization of the party that has been described by other scholars as suicidal and irrational is actually very rational in relation to the principle for which the party stands. Why is that rational? First, because the center has always remained very weak, with no party, practically no party bureaucracy at the center. Secondly, because instead of shaping the party around an office in Milan, an office in Brussels, an office here and there, the party has been organized around specific campaigns that have created satellite movements and therefore a galaxy of movements that support the individual campaigns. This has two effects. One is to preempt other parties to get into those issues and therefore secure ownership of issues like anti-militarism, abortion, divorce, and speaking of things of the 70s, but more recently, right to life, medical treatment, rights of people in jail, and so on. So first you prevent and you occupy part of the political supply by putting your party there. And secondly, by creating many satellite organizations rather than local offices, you create opportunities for aggregations of citizens across the left-right spectrum. So for example, on divorce, you don't need to be for social justice in principle, for redistribution of income, to stand for the right to divorce. This has created this phenomenon of scientific disorganization. I'll tell you about the non-exclusive membership in a second, where yes, you have the transnational party at the center, but have, like, that's example, think of a holding, you know, a big corporate model. The party also has a Radio Radicale, that one that is appearing now, that does this thing, communication, and has electoral lists that change their name depending on the episode, and the hours are completely put by me ad lib, that they don't follow any specific order. But the idea is that you aggregate citizens on these anti-clericalism, medical stuff, these Esperanto?
No, international anti-prohibitionist league.
Anti-prohibitionism, so initiatives also through the European Parliament on Afghani opium and things like that, not just Italian policy. This is the Esperanto organization fighting against the cultural domination of the English language, especially in Europe. And these are, you may have heard, there's an international campaign, Hands Off Cain, against the death penalty. Obviously, you aggregate different citizens on different issues across different parts of the left-right spectrum, in Italy, abroad, at the UN, wherever that happens. That's a strategy of movements. But you can also adopt, if you're very cynical, a corporate model where you have the holding, the subsidiaries, and the communication with Radio Radicale, which is also internet broadcast, and is going to broadcast these, I guess, in a few days. Non-exclusive membership, I'll go back 1 second, but without putting that horrible slide, by saying that the party always allowed its members to take as many party members cards they want. So you can be a member of the Labour Party or even of the Italian Democratic Party to the left, and a member of, in this case, would be a Radicale Italiano if you join through Italy. Why is that? Again, it's a libertarian principle that the party is not ideological. The party card simply says that you stand, correct me, Matteo, for what was decided at the motion of the latest Congress. So you agree with that platform for 1 year, only on those 5, 6 things that the platform contains. No one is going to ask you if you are a Catholic or if you are either right-wing or left-wing. The party center cannot deny membership. So if he wants to apply tomorrow, there's an horrible person, as we all know, the party cannot prevent you from becoming a member of the Radical Party. If, let's say, all the Nazis, fascists of the world would join the Radical Party tomorrow, there would be nice people like us who simply get out and establish a new party, and they can get the bad fascist Radical Party. So there's nothing to fear, and I think this is what the parties have, is really some conceptual blinkers that prevent them from seeing something that simple. Okay. The party itself, again, has been biodegradable. So you can dissolve the party in what? In a single issue movement, in a parliamentary party, because they didn't say no to elections and representation in parliament when they had the opportunity. It's also a trans-party entity and a transnational party. At some moments in time, the party had some 80 parliaments, in a sense, or members of other